everybody, welcome back to Myammee TV. Today, you guys, I have such an amazing pleasure to have these two, the Addams family. Thank you guys for letting me come in your home. I so appreciate it. And for you that don't know, these two, I've been knowing them forever. I remember back in the olden days, they allowed me to come stay with them. I was in a crazy predicament. They gave me a room to stay in, bathroom, for like a month, right?
That's all you needed.
That's all I needed to get my butt in my own apartment when I moved to Atlanta. So I'm always appreciate them. I'm always gonna be here. And I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We have Mrs. Constance Addams and Anthony.
What up, dog?
They are now pastors, right, of the youth pastors. Youth pastors. Oh, the senior. Correct me, please. The senior youth pastors at World Changers International. You all know Creflo Dollar's church, and it's an honor. So
We have been married for 13 years. As of April of this year, we have 5 children, a blended family. Like you said, we are the senior youth pastors of World Changers Church, and we pastor over 10 locations across the United States. And it is my pleasure to sit and talk with Angie.
I'm Anthony Addams, and she said it all.
she did. She did.
I grew up in the church.
Let's introduce. Go ahead and talk about grew up in the church and the relationship with Creflo, so they know.
All right, well, I was born in New York, but my mom moved me down to Atlanta when I was 6 years old, so this was 1987. And when we were down here, it was just me and her. All my family was in New York, and my mom sings. So as soon as we moved down here, we got with World Changers Church International. Well, I was a bad kid. My biological father was locked up the day before I was born.
Wow.
And, I didn't want to leave New York because, I grew up in the type of household where grandma and grandpa was mommy and daddy. I used to call my mama Dawn by her first name. So it was like one of those types of situations.
Yeah.
I started getting in all types of trouble and different things like that. When I was about 12 years old, Dr. Dollar came to me and took me out to dinner at Ruby Tuesdays. He said, I want to be something for you that you don't have. And I said, well, what don't I have? He said, a daddy.
Wow.
And I said, okay. So I literally went from,
Fatherless.
yeah, to having a father. As I got older, growing up on Gabby Road, they were known for stealing cars and robbing and pulling kick doors. So naturally, I gravitated towards that stuff.
Because it was there all around.
All the time. My mom worked the night shift. So when she would be at work, I'd be at home, and the neighborhood became my brothers and my sisters, and my house became
The hangout house.
The hangout
The
house.
cool place to be.
Yeah, so all the older cats would come and sack up their weed and cook their dope and, bring their girls over and show me stuff.
It was one of them houses.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that. I've been knowing them for so long, y'all. I didn't know all of that.
That's why we have this interview.
I know that's good, but I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
So, I got into some trouble, started stealing cars and breaking in rings. And long story short, I was facing life in prison in Clayton County.
Well, hold on, wait a minute now, Aunt. I ain't know that either. Okay, go ahead. Let me. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
I was facing life in prison in Clayton County, and my lawyer was able to get it down to facing 22 years in prison. My co-defendant was facing 42 years in prison. And, my dad got into play, Dr. Dollar came into play and, worked some things out. I ended up getting 5 years probation and 14 weekends in jail. And,
wait. Well, I mean, from life to 22.
To 5 years probation and 17 weekends in jail.
14.
14 weekends.
14 weekends, meaning only Saturday or?
Friday, Saturday,
Friday.
and I get out on
Get
Sunday.
out on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't tell me that's beyond a blessing, but go ahead.
So that happened. And, even when I got out, I calmed down as far as the robbing and all that stuff, but I was still heavily on drugs, from cocaine to ecstasy to weed, and drinking, and pimping women, and just doing a whole bunch of stuff, man. And,
so you kind of like straightened a little up 2004, 2005 after the marriage, right?
I wasn't picking up pistols, kicking indoors at that time.
So he became more of like the mastermind to telling people
what to do.
Yeah.
The general.
Yep.
Yeah. And what did Dr. Dollar had to say about after you got out on the journey? How was he?
He was very patient with me.
That's good.
He was extremely patient, and he stayed focused on what he knew I was destined for more than what he saw. So, the scripture says we walk by faith and not by sight.
Yes.
He truly did not walk by what he saw me demonstrating. And that played a big part, him and his wife, as well as my wife, doing the same thing.
Wow.
So that really helped me a lot.
All these angels.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And
it's a perfect collaboration for him to be senior youth pastor because his personality, and he can blend well with all the kids. So when I looked up and seen that, I was just like in awe, like it was a big thing to me. So how did it start? What happened for you guys to transition from not even being there to what year?
Named Minister Michael Owens.
Okay.
Who was the youth pastor at the time at World Changers.
Okay.
He came over to my house, and it was totally unexpected. He didn't call.
He just came.
I wasn't big on pop-ups. I was smoking a blunt, and I was in my garage. I was, doing me.
Yeah.
And Constance came in the garage and said, "Mike," I said, "What that Negro want?" And I put the blunt out, and I went out to go talk to him, and he said, "Man, God's really been dealing with me, man. You need to come serve in team ministry." I'm like, "Man, I ain't serving in no team ministry."
Right.
At this time, I was averaging about $20,000 a month.
Hold on.
Excuse the dog, y'all. But
A big dog.
right.
Like this high.
At the time, I was making a lot of money, and I had already worked at the church doing facilities and everything like that. I'm like, man, ain't no way I'm going back to work at the church.
Right.
And,
especially not on team ministry.
Right.
You weren't thinking like that, yeah.
No, not even a little bit.
Wow.
And he's like, "Man, I'm just being obedient to the voice of God, and I want to make sure that I obey, and I had to come over here and tell you." So
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, man, appreciate it, man. Blah, blah, blah." I was at this event. I was taking, at this time I was doing everything, taking pictures, doing something. And my dad he came to the event, and he said, "You got 2 weeks to make a decision."
Wow.
I said, "What?" I said, "You got 2 weeks to make a decision." I was like, "All right."
He brushed it off.
I went back home, started looking around, started thinking. It's like, man, let me go ahead and just do it. So I went. I started volunteering. I volunteered for about 6 months. Volunteered for about 6 months.
Okay, let's pause on that. What year was that though? So I know I left 10, 11.
That had to be been right after, like 2011.
Okay.
2011,
It had to be.
2011.
I know it was after I left, but go ahead.
So, and then they hired me on as an operations coordinator.
Okay.
About 4 years.
Yep.
For about 4 years. And
Okay.
in that, I had signed up for Bible school. So
Okay.
I graduated Bible school.
I was gonna ask you that. Okay. How long was the Bible school?
2 years.
Yeah. So no, in while you're doing the 4 years, inside of the 4 years, you already had put 2 years in to get to school.
While I was operations coordinator.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right.
so I graduated Bible school in 2013. But when I graduated Bible school, we were just in the middle of building the youth center that we have now.
Right.
Right when it was finished, my dad came to me and said, "Hey, we're getting ready to send you out to Norcross,
Okay.
to our Norcross location."
Right.
And I said, "Okay, what am I gonna do out there?" So as far as I'm concerned, I didn't want to leave. Kind of like what you was talking about when you went skydiving.
Yeah.
The dude
You didn't want to jump
I
out.
didn't want to jump out the plane.
So who was the one to let your arms go, let your hands go?
My dad.
So he took them hands off the doors and pushed your butt out.
Kicked me out. I was pissed. And this is punishment. I want to smoke weed again.
So he pushes you to go to Norcross.
And I go to Norcross, and there was a guy that was brought in as a senior youth pastor.
Okay.
His name was Cal Self. And my dad told me, he said, forget everything you know and learn from him.
Gotcha.
I was like, what do you mean? Forget the last 4 years of my life and just, what does that mean even?
Get mentored.
Right. So I go out there and, I'm like, what's this guy going to teach me? And he didn't know at the time that he was going to be senior youth pastor.
Wow.
So he became senior youth pastor.
Okay.
I came out there to kind of help out because the youth leader that was there had transitioned or something like that. I ended up having to stay. And I was the youth pastor out there for 2 years.
At Norcross?
Okay, a year and a half.
Yeah, for about 2 years.
Okay.
It grew. It went from, I think when I got there, we had about
Maybe like 40.
40 students. By the time I left, they were pushing 120.
Wow. And
it was good. And I was like, wow, this is. I didn't have all the budgets that I had at College Park.
Gotcha.
So it's like I had to
make it work.
Yeah.
But it ended up working.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to make something out of it.
Out of nothing. I love that.
So the Minister Mike, the youth pastor at College Park,
Okay.
ended up resigning.
Wow.
Right. Which caught everybody for a loop. Everybody was like,
Wow. What? Did he say why he resigned, or he just said his time was up? He wanted to move on.
He felt like God was calling him to do other things.
So God has called him to move out, just so He can call you to move in.
And I would say that from the beginning, like his initial conversation with Anthony when he came out, he always felt like he was holding the seat for Anthony.
Oh my God! What's his name?
Mr. Mike.
Mike Owens. Big shout out to you.
Oh my God. He said this is your position, and I am just holding the seat. So everything that he did, like he always had in mind, Anthony, you'll be in this seat one day. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in 15 now.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So 2015.
2015 happened. Left things good enough for all I had to do was make little adjustments.
Yeah. Just evolve just a little bit.
Yeah.
And put your spin on it.
There it is.
Yeah.
And about a year and a half, Pastor Cal, who had became a senior youth pastor, was called out to Australia.
Australia church. Yeah.
Gold Coast.
Wow.
And when he went out there, I became a senior youth pastor.
So this was what, last year?
Yeah.
Yep. This was about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
6, 7 months. About 6, 7 months ago.
So before 7 months ago, you were back at the College Park location, but you was like assistant pastor, or how do you go?
Just the youth pastor of College Park.
Oh, okay.
So the youth pastor is you're pastoring the location where you are.
Okay.
So we have youth pastors in New York, in
Gotcha.
Norcross, and we have youth leads at our other fellowship churches, youth ambassadors.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a ambassador. Okay.
Yeah. And so the senior youth pastor kind of oversees all of the locations.
Oh,
so we were
didn't
the
know
youth
that.
pastors of College Park, and then Pastor Kyle, he was at our New York location, but he was the senior youth pastor over all the locations, right?
So now the locations include New York, Macon, Billerica, Norcross, Marietta, Washington, Cincinnati, Charlotte, North Carolina.
You said DC?
I said Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So that's a total of 10 locations.
10. I don't know if you named them all just then, but yeah.
Majority.
Yeah.
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 That is amazing.
Yeah.
So since then, I want to hear from both of you. Last 6 months, what has life been transitioning from just youth pastor to head in charge?
Honestly, it's been pretty sweatless, in my opinion. I don't know about for her, because she plays dual roles. She's my assistant, she's co-youth pastor, co-senior youth pastor.
Yeah. Head of all the
She's
young
over
ladies.
Right. She does that. You know, and the list goes on. She's the gatekeeper as far as the time for the other staff and different things like that. So she's got a lot.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you
And she has to deal with me.
Oh, that's a whole lot. But what has it been like for you, Constance, when the transition from just you personally, when it was like, okay, he's called to go into youth pastor, it's like now we have to do this whole new transition out. Like, how were you feeling at that time? Were you like, I think I can do this, or this is going to be so, I don't know how to do it. It's basically like being first lady, you know, and you are the first lady, of course. So it's like, how is that transition from their life and then getting him and making sure he's on point and just being the rock of the house? Because I know you had your own things that you probably wanted to do, right? So just talk about that for the other ladies out there.
I think my biggest thing was a mindset change.
Okay.
We've been together kind of on and off since I was 12. So I told him,
She was 11.
No, I was 12.
She was 12.
Yeah. We met when I was 11, but we didn't start dating until I was 12.
I moved in on you when you was 11, though.
Oh my God. Anyway,
so I told him like I had to be about like 14, 15 years old, and I had a vision of him ministering.
Wow, Constance.
And I told him, I said, you know, God showed me, you know, what you're gonna
Constance. I didn't. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Don't mind me.
And so like kind of throughout the years, it's kind of like the same thing, like he said, his dad said, where I kind of already saw. So I was committed to
making sure that vision came to life.
Like I know what you're gonna be. So as we're going through kind of like our rough times or whatever, I already knew he was gonna become. Now I didn't really see myself in the vision per se. So it's been an ongoing
learning process.
Transition. I'm still in transition, and Anthony's constantly reminding me, like, you know, you're anointed too.
Yeah.
He'll say, you know, hey, babe, you want to preach? I was like, no, you got it. So, you know, he does different things to try and, you know,
include you,
put me out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I like that because it's not like you're just not the wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really, I know you got to be hands-on with the young girls for sure.
Yeah.
And she's anointed with it.
Yeah.
I know she
like
is.
those girls, most of those girls call her mom.
yeah.
I know it.
You know, so I'm super proud of her. Do I wish, you know, hey babe, you got it this Sunday. Do I wish we were there? Yes.
She gonna get there now.
It's by faith and not by sight.
Anyway, so how has been juggling the kids helped? How has juggling the kids helped y'all with knowing how to deal around and give more extra love to the ministry of the other kids?
I actually think it's worked in reverse. Pastoring teenagers helps us to be mindful of making sure we spend time with our kids. We love our kids. We make sure that, you know, we're not saying, you know, we got to go to church versus being there to support, because we're parents first.
Yeah.
So
That's been a little struggle there.
it's definitely been I don't even know how it's happening. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's the grace of God.
Okay.
Because to have 5 children with 5 different personalities, with 5 different things going on, with 5 different schedules, then we're full-time senior youth pastors. So then, you know what I mean? You have to, you know, lead the other locations. You have to empower your staff. You have to empower the ambassadors at the other locations. You have to, you know, be available to minister. Services come every week, so you're always in planning mode to plan services every week. But
it's a lot.
it's a lot.
If you could keep up with this one, and he was a lot, I think he was just a challenge. So when this comes, you like, child, I got this. Yeah, it was preparation. So you can like be his right hand in this.
Yeah.
It's like everything has lined up perfectly. Yeah. So knowing the 11 to 18, what they're dealing with right now, when it comes to social media, how do you guys talk about the pictures sex. Do y'all even say sex? Or do y'all say, you know,
I get into it.
I know you real and raw.
Oh, yeah.
So how do y'all talk about the sex thing and them trying to be like others? Like, how do y'all come across and try to keep them like this? Like,
We don't judge them.
okay,
We don't make them feel weird
okay,
or ostracized. You know, at the end of the day, the Bible talks about how they are perfect in Christ Jesus. So
Okay.
we focus on that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, one of the key things that even brought me out is the fact that my dad didn't harp on, man, you smoke weed, you're an embarrassment to me.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah, point the
None of that.
finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd be doggone if I do it, but it would have been counterproductive.
Gotcha.
So it wouldn't have worked. I just would have rebelled even more. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to hell. You know, they've been told for so many years that, you know, if you have sex before marriage, you're going to hell. If you smoke weed, you're going to hell. If you got the dreads and the goals and
The tattoos.
the tats on your face and all that stuff, and you got a crazy past, and you're going to hell.
What about
If
homosexuality?
you're homeless, if you're gay, you're going to hell.
Okay.
Listen, people don't go to hell for sin. They go to hell for rejecting Jesus.
Yeah.
Our job is to represent Jesus Christ to them as a God of love, as a God of mercy, as a God of grace. And it's the goodness of God that brings a man to repentance.
Right.
Not beating them over the head.
Because they already know what they're doing wrong.
Right.
So they don't need somebody like y'all in church telling them one more time what they're doing wrong.
Right.
And you just try to keep pouring into them positivity, and then one day it will get lower and lower and just
It works.
Yeah.
I tried to quit smoking weed on my own
Right.
thousands of times.
He knew it was against the law. He knew
He
I
knew
mean,
it. He knew it was wrong.
the money, he pulled money from, you know you got kids, you got bills, but the addiction was just speaking louder than
Wow, the responsibility.
anything. It overpowered that. And now, I'm in a position now he actually wants to use me to help other people like that.
Yeah.
God, you love me so much, like, dude, I gotta pay you back. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do
him my
something.
all,
Yeah.
It's your relationship with him that teaches you how to serve him.
Yeah.
It's your relationship with
He'll
him
guide
that gives
you.
that
Yeah.
conviction.
Yeah.
To the point where literally the taste for weed left just like that.
Yeah.
So when you experience something like that, you're excited about it. And when you're excited about something, what's the first thing you want to do?
Tell somebody.
You want to tell somebody.
Right.
So now it's like when I see a kid, it's like, oh, you see that kid? Look, I was like that. Oh, he think. See, the devil got him blinded. That go kid, I could take that blindfold off and reintroduce him to Christ, so that he'll have a encounter with him that cannot be denied, and he won't easily walk away from.
And better understanding too.
And better understand. I don't care if it's a female, because I understand that side.
Yeah.
Understand both sides of
Yeah.
the spectrum. Whether
Yeah.
you a dude out there and you done shot at folks, you done killed folks, you got
You
drug
been there
addiction.
too.
I've been there. I've been
That's
there.
why I think you guys are good. Like, it's just like a perfect marriage, like I was saying last night. Like, I came over here and was talking to them real briefly, but I just feel like, and I like that you don't water down. No sugarcoating, no hello kids today. It's like, oh, what y'all doing? I know you probably talk to them like that sometimes, just to relate to them. How important is it to make sure you understand music, make sure you understand what's going on right now in the world, so you can kind of even more relate to them, and then go behind them and preach to them? Like, how important is that to keep up?
Teens in general, one, you got to keep it real, because they'll peep out, fakeness from a mile away.
Yeah.
And then they really don't care what you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
So
that's
if once you
good.
show them like that, whatever they're interested in, like we have an interest in too, it's like an open door into their world.
Gotcha.
And then once they see that you care about what they care about, now they can, begin to reveal different things that they might be going through. Now it's like building that trust.
Gotcha.
So then we have that trust factor where they feel like, okay, you're a safe haven where I can, open up and tell you what's going on with me.
Right.
And I know that you care for me. So whatever you say, now I'm open to hearing it, because I know that whatever you say is because of your care and your love for me. That's pretty much how we rock with the teens. It's
Right.
like, You know
they listening to.
Yeah.
You know the trends.
I know all the trends.
Fashion trends.
I
too,
need
with
them
the
to
color.
teach me every new dance. I'm always
That's good.
at church. Like, hey, I need to keep up with the dances. So we having dance competitions. We doing
That's
it
good,
all.
because it's like no judging though.
None.
It's just fully
fun.
accept.
Yeah. It's just fun, loving on teenagers, and
Right.
we're here for you.
Right.
They can truly come and say hi.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got Michael coming in with lead personal nails and he looks like a female and he wants you to call him Michelle. Like, man, have a seat. Welcome. And he's gonna feel comfortable.
Yeah,
He's
that's
gonna feel
good.
comfortable.
Lately we've been having a lot of suicides on Facebook, and what type of process do you guys have when the kids are not even a process? How do you weed out who you need to really be talking to versus the ones who probably got it a little bit? How do you guys weed out that so they won't get to that point of deep depression and feel like their life is worthless and try to prevent somebody from suicide?
Well, our job is to plant and water. Plant the seed and water the seed.
Okay.
It's God's job to give the increase.
Okay.
So, the Bible says, where sins abound, grace abounds much more. Well, we believe we are that grace that abounds much more. We are that grace that abounds much more. Most believers, they don't watch the news because it's too negative. It's too negative, but as far as I'm concerned, I watch the news because it gives me my assignments.
Gotcha.
And we also empower our ambassadors, which are the people who volunteer their time to serve with the teenagers. We empower them to be able to build relationships with them. So it's just not on us because we're not able to do it by ourselves. We have like over 400 students. It's like virtually impossible to be able to have one-on-ones with each one, right? But when you empower your ambassadors to be able to build relationships and stuff like that, when we hear different things, they're fully trained to be able to say, I heard a trigger comment.
Okay.
I heard
this could be something more.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta pay attention to this one.
Right. So then they'll say, hey, hold 1 second, and then they'll come get us and say, I think we have a red flag situation.
Wow.
And that's how we can address those emergency situations and walk through that process with them to try and avoid them getting to that place. So we have to train our volunteers, make sure that we're staying relevant with what's going on.
Yeah. So you guys don't get left behind.
Exactly. If we're supposed to be working with these teens, if this is our purpose, if this is our why, we need to make sure we know every intricate detail about the students.
Right.
And then we even have some students who are willing to give us the inside scoop and say, hey, this is what I want to let you know. This is what's going on. Right. Right.
That's good.
We got our secret service.
That's good.
Our dry snitches.
Right.
I ain't gonna tell nobody who y'all are.
You don't know who that is.
So what do you tell other youth pastors, right? Other couples like yourself who just got into it, even though you haven't been in it like that, like forever, but all the stuff that you learned up until this point and looking forward to, what do you tell those new pastors on what to do and one thing not to do or something like that? Or just some advice.
Don't compare. Don't get caught up in comparing. And don't get caught up into the numbers. We gotta fill up these seats. Well, you may not be called to fill up seats. You may be called to make sure that the ones that are there with you are healthy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You may be responsible for the next TD Jakes, the next Creflo Dollar. You may have that student in your under your leadership right now. So it's like, pace yourself and hear from God on what you need to do and meet the needs of the students. Know what the needs of the students are. Know your demographic. Do a demographic study. What's the arrest rate of young people in your community? What's the
pregnancy too?
What's the pregnancy?
Do you deal with the pregnancy?
Not as much as we used to. With this generation, it's more so of the sex, drugs.
Okay.
Sexual identity.
Sexual identity. That's heavy.
Perversion. Molestation.
Incest.
Uncles, fathers, mothers. Even.
Rape. We deal with that a lot.
Wow.
And that affects their sexual identity, and that's when you get into the homosexuality and stuff like that. So we deal more on that than we do with teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
trafficking, sex trafficking.
What?
We actually have a group of girls that come to our third Sunday service, which is all girls, and then the guys meet separately. But we have a group home where they bring their girls who have been rescued from trafficking.
Okay.
And they come to, be a part of the service. And we
That's
love
good.
and embrace them to, try and get them back to a healthy place so that
Let
they
them know
can
that somebody out here love you, even though despite
what happened. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
that's
man.
what we deal with that. But like you said, we keep ourselves busy with just what we have in our back door. You know what I'm saying? It's not about filling up seats. It's about, like Anthony said, making sure they're healthy, because they'll become your ambassadors
When they
to
go
help
to college,
you.
will they be able to be successful,
Young adults.
physically,
Yeah.
Spiritually.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think teen ministry is one of the most important because that's where all the foundation and stuff is done for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So before they get to college, like I remember myself, my mom used to drag me to church, right? And I used to, I ain't like going, but I used to go and just get that foundation. And then of course, look what happened. But because I had a little bit of foundation, it propelled me to who I am. So I think teen ministry is one of the most important. You guys have like a huge job, So, but I think you guys are going to do it amazingly.
Thank you.
Keep that personality up for them boys. You keep the graceness for the girls to look up to. What are some of the challenges that you guys have personally when it comes to wife, husband, dad, mother? One of your toughest challenges, but because of your faith and your belief, it pulled you out. What was it, and how did you get through?
A lot of times, Anthony and I are challenged with, he could be, trying to get ready to preach, and I be done said something to make him upset. So it's just like, just really being mindful and staying sensitive to each other to really make sure that we're not allowing the enemy to use us to provoke each other. And then too, you go out and you're touching everyone else's children, but then you get frustrated because it's like, man, but I have 5 kids of my own. And then it's like what we say and use to be able to change lives outside of here. My own children, it's not received that way.
Wow.
Well, thank you, God, for a village. That's why it take a village. It take a village. I don't care if you're a pastor. I don't care if you're like an amazing minister traveling all the world around the world. It takes a village. But we understand. Just like his dad, my parents did the same thing, just not being moved by what you see and understanding what our role is. Our job is to train the child. Yeah. It's like, Lord, I know that your job is to raise, my job is to train. So I'm going to stick to my part. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm not going to be trying to raise them. I understand that my job is to make sure that they understand, they know the word, they get it. So that's what we do. We focus on that part.
I think another aspect that people fail to realize is that when you're called to speak, to teach the gospel of grace, to teach the gospel to people, the spiritual attack on your life is heavy.
Wow.
We have to be mindful of that and be able to still, work what we know.
Yeah.
Work what we know. And I just think it makes us that much more effective with our kids and with the students that we encounter, because we understand that this is spiritual warfare. This is not a carnal warfare.
Right. Because I can imagine you probably had a time where you was like, I don't think we should be doing this.
But I know I have.
You had a time.
Oh, man, I know
Just
I
so y'all
have.
don't feel like y'all alone. If you have ever felt like that, if you a senior youth pastor as well, if you felt like, I don't think this is it.
Like, I think I missed it. You know what I'm saying? Even, as it relates to Anthony and I, we work together and we married. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
24/7,
24/9. Just it's a challenge. Just having that balance and being able to, draw the line and separate when
business
it's
and
right.
personal. Not even that. Husband, wife, and then
mother,
parents,
father, right?
Yeah,
and then pastors. I'm telling you that all that working together. It really it can be frustrating. And sometimes I just be like, you know what? I can volunteer, Anthony. I can be a volunteer. You can do what you do just so I can, make sure that I don't invade and impose. But then
It ain't
no,
gonna happen.
but
Like
and God always reminds us once we get to the teens, and we just it
just
never
comes
fails.
back through
Oh,
and
the
say,
anointing just
no, I'm here
flows.
for
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
If
good.
you're doing this and you ain't never thought about quitting, something wrong.
Yeah.
Because you thought about it too, right?
All the time. Oh my goodness. But
You get reminded.
That's why we're transformed by the renewing of our mind.
Renewing.
ING, continuous.
Yes.
I renew my mind 50 times a day sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then you keep your focus on, like
The
we tell
goal.
our why. You
Yeah.
know what
That's
I'm
our
saying?
why.
What is your purpose? What is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah.
And that keeps you from being in that selfish place. Because that's really what
That's
it is.
what it is.
It's a
That's good.
self-centered place.
Are you
Yeah.
in the center or is Christ in the center?
Right.
You gotta, anytime you
Or
try
is
to
the
quit
purpose
something.
in the center of what you're
Right.
supposed to do?
Exactly.
Right.
Gotcha.
So if Christ is in the center of what I'm doing, it's virtually impossible for me to think about quitting because in Him, I have power to do
I can do all
anything.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have wisdom to do anything. I have provisions to do anything
Right.
in Him.
Right.
In me, I'm ready to quit.
Doses.
Indicator, I'm tripping. I need to renew my mind. Where's my why? Where's my why? Then purpose comes into the door.
Yeah.
Pastor Anthony, I need to talk to you.
Right.
Oh, okay. And you good.
Yeah.
One of your biggest goals or mission is to have, not just in College Park, but all locations, there probably has not been done yet. An idea that you think would be so super dope.
Yep.
What is it?
One, for me, it's after the students graduate, they go off to college. When they go to those colleges, they're developing World Changes youth experiences in those areas.
I like that.
They're taking what they've learned
So
and
it's
they're
almost
becoming
like
ambassadors.
Yeah.
Almost
And
like
they
a club or something that's,
Boom.
yeah.
And
like a
they-
fraternity,
Yeah.
sorority.
Exactly.
I love that.
But the whole sole purpose is to get out the gospel of grace.
Yeah.
And to let them represent Christ to everybody that they come in contact
Yeah.
with. Not as a God of judgment, not as a God of pain,
Okay.
not as a God of punishment,
That'll be
but
dope.
as
Yeah.
a God of love, a God of victory, a God of champions.
That'll be dope.
Yeah.
But you do have one in Tallahassee, so my feelings. It
Oh, talk about.
sounds good, Aunt, though. Have y'all talked about it or thought first location, or is that just a goal eventually one day that you want to do?
Long-term goal.
Yeah.
Long-term goal.
I think our main focus right now is just making sure that every location has healthy students.
Okay.
So
Getting everybody on one accord too.
right,
Right.
spiritually
So
healthy. So
I like that.
We're doing discipleship classes. Well, we start from the very, very beginning. We don't assume that our students know, just because their parents are born again, we just assume that they know. We're starting like
Don't
with the
assume they know
basics.
what you haven't taught them.
Yeah.
Like that.
So that's what we're focusing on, discipling these kids, training them, empowering them to be so confident, so strong in their faith that they will be able to go into college and schools. And they're confidently like, oh, you want to be a part of this team
And they
because.
know how to rightly divide the word of truth.
Right.
They know
And give
how to
understanding
articulate
and bring
what
understanding.
They believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
They know how to give understanding. They
Yeah.
know how to teach it. They know they're
On that level,
on
Right.
that level.
which is
when
so
somebody comes in
important.
That is important.
Somebody can come in with something that makes sense or with facts.
Yeah.
And they'll come up against one of our kids, and our kids will tell them because we teach them, well, facts change. The truth stays the same.
Forever.
Exactly.
And then the person that's trying to woo them or being influenced by the enemy to try and woo them to get them out of what they standing on, they're so deep rooted and
that
knowledgeable.
it don't even phase
It
them.
don't.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
Water off the duck's back.
Yeah.
The staff the other day, as far as, man, our services are off the chain and very impactful for believers. But what about for the kid who was like I was?
Unchurched.
Who's unchurched. So we're about to start going to Friday night services, and that's going to be like a block party.
That's dope. You know why? Because it attracts their butt. They always want to go to somebody's party and Snap and IG and Facebook. And when they butt get there,
Draw them in.
And it's something that we could just start easy on the summers, man. My
yeah,
whole
summertime
life,
is going
our
to be
whole
good.
life has been God has strategically put people in our paths.
Divine connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got this connection, man. I've got a brother, man. His name's Matt Pitt. And this guy has come into my life and just, he's like, dude, I'm stopping everything that I'm doing and I'm pouring it into you. And he said, you know what? You are America's youth pastor.
Wow,
And
man.
I said, me? America's youth pastor? He's like, that's you. I was like, well,
Wow,
what makes you
man.
say that? He's like, well, I'm over the biggest youth movement in America, and I'm saying that you are America's youth pastor. So let
But
it
you're
be
going to
known.
receive it, though.
I received it.
Okay.
I received it. And it was with apprehension because it's like, man, the attack get bigger, but where it's like now, it's like the devil ain't too quick to try and run up on me like that. Because he know my name. My name, my whole name. That's Anthony Adams, and that's his wife. You stay away from that Adams family. But them jokers gonna bust you upside the head. They ain't gonna play with it. They know who they are in Christ.
They know who they are.
They
That
know
is
who
so
they
important.
are.
Yeah, that's so important to know whose you are.
Yeah.
So when it come, no problem.
He's placed those things in our lives, and it's like, man, the wealth of wisdom that I get even from Matt
Yeah.
is like, oh my goodness, it's amazing. But his ministry is geared towards the unchurched, and I think that divine connection is for that purpose. That is going to help us bring in the people who we haven't reached yet.
Right.
I mean, think about it.
They
Our
need
doors
it.
open at 9 o'clock and service starts at 10 o'clock on Sundays. When I was 16, you think I'm going to get up at 10 o'clock to go to church?
I know you wasn't.
I'll get up at 8 o'clock at night to go to a block party.
Yep.
Kick it.
Yeah.
And then run into somebody like me that's going to give them that word raw.
Yes.
Straight, no chasing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they going to take it.
Have y'all had any issues or any quick small problems with the regular adult side where you guys had to come present ideas and say, this is what we're going to do for the kids? Are they more open to say, okay, we trust you, whatever it is, just do it? Or have you had a small little backlash of, that's so
and
good?
I think the important thing is because Dr. Dollar sees the importance. He sees the value of his team ministry.
Right.
So because he sees the value, that respect of the team ministry, just it trickles down.
It's very
That's
rare.
good.
I didn't know.
Right.
Very rare.
Because they trust you
They
and your
trust-
calling, your gifts, your ideas, whatever it takes. I know it'll work.
And they
They
understand,
can do it.
and they understand that the teenagers, they are the future of our church. They're the future of the church. So
Exactly.
for every youth pastor out there, invest in your teenagers. To the senior pastors, invest in your teenagers because they are the future of your ministry. Your team ministry is what keeps your church alive, so that it doesn't die out. If you're just catering to the older people, no disrespect, but eventually
After the
they
time.
transition and they chuck you to deuces and go home to be with Jesus. It's like, who's gonna fill those seats? The teens that eventually become adults then fill those seats. So if you're not really, addressing them, it's so easy for what they call the new millennium generation just to get lost in the sauce, and they'll go on about their business.
So any miracles you guys have witnessed personally in the ministry? We want to hear just one from each.
Let me think. A miracle.
It could be whatever you think a miracle is. Personally, family-wise.
I would say the biggest miracle I have seen is my husband, his evolvement.
Wow.
Is that a word? Evolvement?
We're going to use it, though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The evolution of my husband getting to this place. I think that's been just the biggest miracle because, as I said, we've been together. I've known him since he was 13 years old.
Bad little thing.
Oh, he was bad. And so
Just embrace it. It's okay.
And so just to see the different stages, just to walk through the different challenges and just see how God has brought them out, I think that's just been the biggest miracle
Wow.
of my life, to personally witness, have a front row seat too. That's been absolutely amazing.
And did that tremendously increase your faith even more and trust and all of that, your relationship with God?
It definitely did. And even as we were going through, that helped build my relationship, because there was a point in time where Anthony didn't want to go to church. Yes, he was a pastor's son, but he wasn't walking up in the church house. I was the one.
I remember
I
sometimes
had kids on my hips, and I'm like, I got to go. Yeah, I got to get it. Even if he doesn't go, I've got to get it. And that kind of increased my prayer life and, increased my trust in God. Because I'm like, Lord, it's just, you're going to have to get me through. Because I don't know about this Negro. I know what you showed me, but I don't know how this is working. So I'm just going to walk this thing out. And so, that did strengthen me in that area. But he is definitely the biggest miracle.
Wow.
Yep.
For me,
yes,
it's been just the honor that's been bestowed upon my life as far as this awesome, great responsibility. And it just seems like it just all just happened. I'm honored. It's still surreal to me.
I can imagine.
Because it's like, wow.
Because I just remember like, y'all, no disrespect. It's just that we all know, well, if you don't know, and he just told you some minutes ago on how he used to be. So it's like, you see this guy, big personality, always just take it to the left sometimes. And then now it makes perfect sense because all of that craziness sits so well and meshes so well with young people. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Miracle talk.
That's the miracle in itself, and to be able to see young people, God gives me, I call it winks. Like he winks at me all the time, whether it's through my inbox or my email, my DMs, or students who I've never even met, who may have just seen something on the social media or something like that, just telling me how much I've impacted their lives, and I used to be like this, now I'm like this. The anointing is very easy to assess.
Okay.
Burdens are removed and yokes are destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay.
If burdens aren't removed and yokes aren't destroyed, you can't call that anointed. And and this is to pastors out there, whether you're a youth pastor, senior youth pastor, whatever it may be. Signs and wonders is what's going to lead this now generation.
Oh, ain't it?
Signs
They
and
need
wonders.
proof.
They need proof.
Yeah.
These millennials need proof.
Now is, let's just say, youth pastor out there right now at just a different type of location. Are you guys open to, if they wanted to call and say, hey, we want to be a part of that curriculum that you're building? But it's a different church though. But they want the youth pastor of World Changers to be in that location. Is that even open? How do they reach out? How do they get in contact with you? Is that possible?
It is so possible. Let me tell you
Okay, that's good. Okay.
I want to develop relationships with other youth pastors.
Right.
Okay. In other churches outside of World Changers.
Right.
Okay.
So if you're out there and you're a youth pastor, I want to know you. I just hooked up with Pastor Lugo. He's out in Florida. And he has this church called Hoopsapoka.
I'll put it right here, you guys.
Okay. Hoopsapoka, but he reached out, he DM'd me and had his number on it, and I called him back. He was like, "Is this really you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me, it's Ant." As far as I'm concerned, I'm like, "Man,
you just Ant,
right?" But what I didn't realize is because Dr. Dollar and Pastor Taffy's ministry is so huge, me being a senior youth pastor, people assume I'm hard to get in contact with. Let me tell you something. You want to get in contact with me? Dial 770-210-5839.
And you'll get me.
She's gonna answer.
You'll get me.
She's gonna answer. But man, I'm so
You're open.
I'm so available.
Very, very accessible.
And you're open to ideas and
ideas. Man, I've got
that's
one
so
of my good
amazing.
friends, Chris Cox. you know, sometimes he'll just pop up during
In
the
the
average
office.
work day. He'll just pop up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm
Just
working,
roll
so
with me.
You're gonna work with me then, huh? And, you know, I'm open to his ideas, and
Yeah.
he's the one who said, man, don't assume that the kids know what you haven't taught them. I was like, man, that's so
Wow.
profound.
Yeah.
So we added it to our trainings for our youth specialists,
Yeah.
or our
Okay.
youth ambassadors. I
Yeah.
apologize, we just changed the name.
Okay.
But man, I'm so open. And I know that
y'all hear
every
that?
huge movement is based off your relationships.
yeah.
You
That's
gotta,
so good.
You gotta be out here. It can't be this side versus that side.
Yeah.
And we're not like, you know, on some high horse feeling like we
We're
know
better than you
everything
guys.
or like we're the best at it. No, God has gifted us and anointed us and graced us with certain things just like he's done y'all. And we're available. We're open to the exchange.
Yeah.
You know, so we like he said, we make ourselves very accessible. We're open to relationships. Once he made the call to the youth pastor in Florida, we ended up bringing him here, and he even
Well,
ministered.
he brought his artist here.
His artist here, right.
Wow.
And
YB. What up,
he
YB?
came-
Shout out YB.
He came and ministered
YB.
at one of our services. So it's
Wow.
like we're open, man.
You know, like you said earlier, it just take a village, and I just think if you can make a big
Yeah.
movement moving forward, I mean,
Yes.
a hashtag movement,
yeah.
it'll be explosive and powerful. So I really hope you guys just get that curriculum, because I know like Joel Osteen, right? He has this autism branch, and then they have now other churches are adopting this, like franchising it, and you know they have it in different locations,
Right.
So it just made me think like,
Actually, just started our autism.
Autism.
nice.
So we just got approved to create a room just for them where they
Yeah.
can live stream in the service, but they can be in an atmosphere that's conducive.
Yeah,
Conducive
that's good
for
for
their-
them.
That's conducive for them.
That's nice.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just good stuff. But as far as our curriculum, it's open to anybody
Man, I look
who wants.
forward to seeing
Yeah.
this unravel, man.
Yeah.
Lessons learned in life. I don't care if it's personal. I don't care if it's with the ministry. What are your biggest lessons? Well, one of your biggest lessons that you learned that you can tell somebody else to help them through that same lesson, and how did you get through it?
Trust God. That's my biggest lesson. To trust God, not be moved by what you see. Holding on to God's word as what it is. It's a
Yeah.
promise. It's a promise that he's already fulfilled. So my biggest lesson is to not allow situations and circumstances to change what his promise to me is. So if, you know, you said that you will supply all of my needs, or everything that I've ever needed, wanted, desired, could even imagine has already been supplied. No matter how many challenges I might walk through, understanding, Lord, you said that you supply everything. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? When it comes to my kids, if you tell me that, you know, if I train my children in the way they should go, they won't depart. Even when they're making bad decisions, understand the Lord, you told me if I train them that they won't depart from your word. So just trusting what he said, you know,
Wow.
that, I mean,
Yeah.
you can apply that across the
In all
board.
areas,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can apply that across the board, just not being moved by what you see with your physical eyes.
Yeah.
Because it will
'Cause
be
that junk
deceiving.
will get
Oh my
heavy.
gosh. It'll
It
be
will.
so deceptive. You'll be
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
Yeah.
If I could say that
Biggest lesson.
the biggest lesson I've learned is my response, my first response, not just a response, but my first response. The Bible says, in this world you will have trials, you will have tribulations, but fear not, for I have overcome the world. Well, how will I respond when that tribulation and that trial comes?
Gotcha.
Will I be irate? Will I be swayed? And keeping in mind that there's a lot of people, because of the seat we sit in, there's a lot of people watching how we respond
Yeah.
to different things. What we say,
man,
how
yeah.
we say, our body language,
Even our children.
especially our children.
Yeah.
Especially our children. So, yeah,
How you respond. is
how
your
your
biggest-
first response.
Your first response.
Okay. What do you guys want to be remembered for as individuals and as
Love
one?
That's what I'm
you.
saying. And remember, when you think of us, if you say, man, they were so loving, then I have successfully done what I believe God has called us to do, because I believe that we are to be an expression of God's love
Wow.
in every way, shape, or form. If it's, you know, through being transparent, so that we share through our challenges and through our issues or whatever. If I can, show you how to avoid a issue, that's expressing the love of God, because I'm keeping you from, facing other issues. Or if I could, whatever I can do, whatever we can do to be an expression of God's love, that's what we want to be remembered for.
Okay.
Not being judgmental, but being genuine lovers of people.
Okay.
Yep.
No,
You agree?
I agree.
She did that thing.
Like she always do. That's why she. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
So, man.
Say what's up to
You're
the
supposed to be
people.
saying hi to your dad, not trying to be
I
on
said
camera.
hi to you guys already.
Oh, okay. Well, goodbye.
Oh, yes, girl. Give me some love.
Did
Say
she
bye
say
to the people.
No. Riley.
She said say bye.
Yeah, I did.
Like my daughter, when she just interrupted this filming, she walked right in, she came right over, boldly came over here. She boldly goes into the refrigerator. Why? Because she understands that it's hers. That's the part of your relationship with Christ I want you to develop in. Don't go to him afraid of what you did or anything, because you don't know that he sees you as perfect. Go boldly before his throne and make your petitions known. Talk to him. Involve him in every intricate detail of your life.
To other youth pastors out there, what would you tell them on how being their authentic self, not to try to hide too much from the kids, try not to mute their self? How do you tell them just to stay themselves, and why that is so important to get across to the young kids?
Youth pastors, understand that you are the students' perfect imperfection. You are their perfect imperfection. If you don't have imperfections, you can't really relate to where they may be right now, or where they were, or some of the things that they're about to encounter. So it's your experience and your ability to have had overcome those things that's going to
Connect
you to those different dots
Yeah.
to make the big picture of impact.
Yeah. They don't want to hear from someone who is so
Polished.
flawless and, like hadn't been through anything. It's like we can't connect. So just hearing that you've been through something will soften their heart to be able to want to reach out. Okay. You don't want to ever come across as being so polished, so perfect that they feel like, oh, well, I feel bad if I come to you and tell you that I'm having a sexual addiction.
Right, because they may think you're going to judge them.
Right. Gotcha. But if I know you've been through something, then you feel me because you went through, so I feel connected to you, because if you can get through what you went through, then you can help me get,
So we all know Dr. Dollar was your biggest influence, most likely, right? I want to know, who was your biggest influence in your life? Like, who was it? We want to know.
Who is it? I don't know that it was.
24/7 right here.
24/9. I don't know that it was one person.
Okay, that's fine.
I think it was a village of people, from teen ministry. One of the young ladies is Alyssa Worrell, which she's one of our employees right now. She was a volunteer in teen ministry when I was a teenager.
Wow.
And now she's working with us,
Okay.
and over our junior high. I had another young lady, Shantina, who was like a mentor to me when I was a teenager. My mother, of course. Pastor Taffi, who has always been just kind of like, hey, call me if you need me.
She's welcoming.
Very welcoming, very
That's
down
good.
to earth. I mean, since I first got to the church, before I was even anybody to Anthony, she was just
That's good.
available and open and ready to, help however she could. So yeah, I think it was just the village that God put me in this ministry has really helped me to become who I am.
Right. And what do you say to the first ladies, the first youth ladies, or whatever? I don't even know how you put that, but what do you tell them too to be influences on the young girls and how important that is?
I would say, just like for your husbands, to keep it real. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So really just being transparent, being open, not being ashamed of where you come from, the challenges that you've walked through, but being able to use those as testimonies to share how you've come to the place that you are in life. That really helps.
Okay.
And that's what I respect most about the ladies who have had influence in my life, is them being able to not be judgmental and accepting me for who I am and being able to connect by sharing what they went through. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You guys say you're fulfilled, right? How do you know when you're in your calling? What is the feeling? I know you would probably just know, but how do you go from trying to figure out purpose and actually being in it? What's the feeling for everybody out there, including myself? What can you say?
I think it's beyond the feeling.
The will of God for your life is not going to be about you. It's always going to be about you helping someone else. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you feel like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this and I'm going to be rich and I'm going to be able to do this. No, God's will for your life is always going to be about how you can bless someone else, how you can put somebody else in a winning position, because that's how we spread His love. You know what I mean? When we take our eyes off of ourselves and it's about empowering someone else.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes me feel most fulfilled, is the fact that no matter what I'm going through, to be able to, even when I'm upset, to be able to get in that church, talk to them teens, it no longer becomes, about whatever I'm mad about or whatever's going on in my life. It becomes about what can I say? Right. What can I do for these kids to put them in a position to win? And I think what you're doing, Angie, is perfect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you're using every platform that you have, all the things that you've been through, and you're saying, now I'm going to use my platform to empower somebody else. That is purpose. That's the will of God, to be able to empower someone else. That's His whole plan. God says in His word that, greater works will you do in my name. Greater works is the fact that, He can be in you, He can be in Anthony, He can be in me, He can be all over this country all at once. So the greater works is He's in all of us to be able to make a bigger impact. You know what I'm saying? So as you're continuing to walk your journey and you're being obedient to what He calls you to do, just understand you're empowering people. You are walking in your purpose.
And vice versa, I see why Aunt told you cannot stay at home.
Come on.
You feel me?
Come on.
Did y'all just hear that? Like, I'm almost borderline. I don't want to mess up my makeup or my lashes. I had to pull back some, but I see why. Ain't no Miss Assistant, ma'am.
Amen.
Greater calling to do and be right on the side.
I receive it. Amen.
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 I end my videos, all of them, with asking my guests, what is your favorite song of all time? It could be an R&B song, a rap song, because we know y'all still have y'all personalities and you got to keep up with the youngins. So it could be favorite song of all time, and you got to know it by heart so we can vibe to it.
That is Beauty by Drew Hill. Walks by me every day.
Close us out.
I'm hoping I can make you mine.
Okay.
For another man steals your heart.
Oh.
But once that beauty is mine, I swear we will never be apart.
All right. Just make sure you stay in ministry only, okay?
In your life.
Change up the word.